I'll just welcome Bukola as we run through some of the trending issues which we have for you on the show this morning. Bukola.
And quite a number, Kayode, from high cost of living to some of the things that our elected public officers were saying over the weekend. Those are some of the subjects, some of the themes, you know, making headlines on social media now this time around as we move away from the headlines in the studio. So let's get to what you are saying and all of those big stories making the rounds. High cost of living, of course, is a big story. There's been breakdowns upon breakdowns of how much minimum wage will actually get you when you go to the market. That's if you're spending 60% of your income on food. So let's begin with this one from Olayinka Onawale. I'm Dr. YK on X saying the current high cost of living in Nigeria prompts reflection on what exactly constitutes the cost of living. Often when we hear cost, our minds leap to money, which is a reflection of a society where currency reigns supreme. So I don't know if that's philosophical or just being deep, approaching this from a different angle. Well, beyond being philosophical, had we not been in this age where we're using technology, fintech solutions for our transactions, imagine if you had to go to the market to, restock your store with groceries. You'll be taking a lot of cash, and that is significant of the food inflation that we're currently experiencing. And it speaks to what the president of the Congress, the Labour Congress, was saying over the weekend, that we could get to a point where $1 million naira minimum wage may not be enough. I don't know if you see it that way, Kayode, this morning, as we look at the high cost of living. I think it's really obvious to the blind. Even the deaf can hear it as loud, and I think that's where we are. And this one is from Henry MD, and he says, only the governors can solve this high cost of living crisis in Nigeria so fast and effectively if they understand why they're in such office. Every Nigerian lives in a state that has a governor. The mirror of a country is viewed through the states. Bad states is bad country. A good way to ask us to readjust our focus this morning as we look a little away from the federal government to the subnationals. I'm quite curious about this post from Ambassador_Saro. And the post starts with the big LOL. That means laugh out loud, right? It says, there is no food scarcity in Nigeria. The problem is people cannot afford food due to high cost of living. You have to first secure the country, and every other thing follows suit. So that's a breakdown of what he meant or she meant. Yeah, and it reminds me of one of the posts I saw earlier yesterday. A tuber of yam divided into the days of the week. One portion Monday, Tuesday, and then it went on. You don't eat yam every day. You can eat it every other week or every week. Well, I hope that a number of Nigerians can afford a balanced diet amid all of this. This one is from Ambassador Saro. Well, you've taken that, Kayode. This one is from Bello Adamu, and he says the high cost of living and inflation in Nigeria is reaching, I believe it means alarming rate now. People have started dying as a result of hunger. Very soon there will be massive reaction by the poor masses and social revolution. Well, we're not calling for a revolution this morning. We're appealing for calm. We're appealing for patience. We hope that we turn a corner yet again. But that's from Bello Adamu. Absolutely. The FDB also gave a similar warning. Not just in Nigeria, by the way. This is a global challenge, so it's important for governments to pay attention to it. Now, let's move on to some videos which trended over the weekend. At least 2 videos made the rounds, really. And incidentally, those videos were from the same venue. One, the president of the Senate, the other from the minister of the FCT. So we'll take what the president of the Senate said yesterday. And this concerns the situation of the economy, and it ties it back to what happened in the previous government, particularly with the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the former CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. Take a listen.
The kind of debts and the kind of economic mess that we're in, a lot of people did not understand. So I remember President Obama saying that you cannot know Washington until you get to Washington. So by the time we went in to look at the economic situation of the country, it was terrible. So you know that the former governor of Central Bank, we don't even know what to charge him with. Whether to charge him for putting foam on top of the bill, or to charge him for illegal possession of firearm, or to charge him for printing notes without income. I don't know what we are going to charge him with. But what we can know is that yes, there is hunger today because of the kind of policies and actions that they took. And we recognize that. And I think everybody political party should recognize that.
And as always, that has gotten a lot of people talking. Take a look at what Ekene Williams 05 says about this. Says, why do we play politics with everything in Nigeria? There's a question mark to that. A central bank governor is blamed for leaving the economy in a mess. Where's the Minister of Finance? Did Emefiele serve under a president? Where is the PMB in all of these? And PMB, of course, is President Muhammadu Buhari. That's what Harrison Williams
A journalist's wish at this time would be that the Senate President is available to answer immediately. But if wishes were horses...
Or the other people mentioned in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this one is from Julu Duru, and he says, while you deliberate on what charge, as it's easier to charge petty thieves with unimaginable crimes in Nigeria, please make sure to recover every penny that he and his cronies allegedly... Well, he didn't complete it, but I guess we know what he's trying to say. We must get used to recovering every loot and not just prison sentences. Nigeria needs it now.
Indeed. And the other video that also trended had the minister of the FCT not just talking about what's going on now, but he went ahead 3 years to come talking about the fact that it looks like there's nobody to challenge the APC.
The ruling government in 2027.
In 2027. So two things. A lot of people said, isn't it still in the PDP? There's been that debate, is it in the PDP or PDAPC, as has been said. But the second one, which was a much bigger issue, is I thought we were facing some real challenges right now. How did this come in? And just to buttress that point, take a look at what people have been saying. This is from Shaggy Uba. Says, this tells of the mindset leaders have in Nigeria. Not concerned that citizens are suffering and complain, coming out to say he knows they will still win the elections to come. This was amongst other things he said, by the way. But of course, you know, this caught the attention of a lot of people, understandably.
Well, we await the FCT's minister's categorical position about which party he belongs to. Exactly. Well, this one is from Mood Haruna Jr. And he says, it seems like they are more interested in their own power and success than in the well-being of the people they're supposed to serve. Go challenge honor. I believe he means God go challenge honor in local parlance.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Take a look at this one. Schools in Niger says a priority. Most of these people, it's just elections and how to grab power. They can't strategize to solve our electricity or security problem. It's always about defeating political enemies. And it's important to understand that these people represent people, you and I. So it also raises questions about the kind of engagement we're having with our political leaders in court, but those who are elected to serve us at various levels, are they really representing us? And I think that's one of the take-homes from this conversation, not just what the Minister of the FCT said, but what we've been seeing happen across board.
And it's interesting to note that Nigerians are speaking across board now, across the country, across geopolitical zones, not just Nigerians in some parts of the country. So it seems as if there's unanimity in the views that Nigerians are expressing about the disillusionment, about the state of the economy, about insecurity. This one is from Gregory Emmanuel, and he says, I've always said this. Politicians are after the next elections and not the well-being of its citizens. And it's quite disheartening and sad that in times such as this, where the economic crisis is ravaging, someone is talking about how to win 2027 elections. Well, let's end it there.
Indeed. So this is what you've been saying, and that's what it is. It's a democracy. You need to get your voices heard so the people in government will understand how you feel. Yes, they may have been talking about other issues. I know the FCT minister talked about security in the FCT, put a bounty or 20 million naira, has had meetings with security operatives and the rest. But this came through, and that's what you had to say about this. But another thing that has been making the news big time is Computer Village. If you stay in Lagos, even if you don't stay in Lagos, you may have heard about Computer Village. I know people have to send their devices from outside of the state to get it fixed in Computer Village or purchase something from Computer Village and ship it around the country. So it's a major hub in the country doing millions of dollars regularly. And the talk around the relocation of Computer Village got a lot of people talking. So take a look at this one, Mr. Classic _ he calls himself Celebrity Tailor on X. As this is a good strategy only if the economy was thriving good. Now you ask them to pay for those high-cost shops, you are going to build? Well, the government, the Lagos State government, had given reason for that, saying where Computer Village is right now, it's not built for the kind of volume, for the kind of activity going on there. And you'd understand that if you've gone to Computer Village before. You know that place could use some more structuring, some more space, some more aeration and the rest of that.
Well, it's a big change, Akayode, and I believe that a lot of the traders at Computer Village have settled to life there. Perhaps their accommodation is somewhere nearby. Perhaps they've built all of their structures, all of the structures around their living. Around the state capital. So moving them all the way to Katangwa is a big disruption. So how they're going to adjust to that, but then again, change is the most constant thing in life. Well, they're still talking about Computer Village. Black Jewel says, if what he said is what's going to be done, it sounds like a good idea. I've always been of the opinion that Computer Village is located at the wrong area for too many reasons.
Well, this next one is from the iPhone Baron. Jaffetto. So I imagine this is a concerned stakeholder, because I can see it from your name. And this is what he says. He clearly said, and that's referring to the official, he clearly said those who are obstructing traffic, and not the whole Computer Village. All these shops by the road on our lower way, those also from the beginning of the road on, is this Show Street, and also Medical Road. Those are most likely the ones that will be demolished and relocated. Plaza built inside the market might not be affected. It is. Well,
that doesn't sound like what we've been hearing at the start of this conversation. I believe that, those even further down, close to the underbridge area, may also be asked to relocate. And the area that the state government is considering is somewhere in Katangwa, Abulegba. So it's a major shift. We wonder how they're going to take it. Well, this one is also from Olamilekon, and he says, I saw the master plan of Katangwa years back. It's massive, and the discussion has been ongoing for years. I know it will happen.
There's so much to talk about in this one. Homeboys for You also says that Ikeja is an administrative capital of Lagos, and markets crowded such as Computer Village are not located in capital city anywhere. So all of those thoughts coming through across social media, keep them coming. This is what we're about, to get your voices heard and ensure that we have a robust conversation. We'll take a moment now on the show, and when we return, we'll turn our attention, not like we turned our attention away from it, but we'll begin with that big story that is the cost of living. Are there alternative ideas? What may we be missing? This week is going to be very critical for us as a nation, so let's start bright and early. That's the moment. Stay with us on The Morning Brief.